You have the floor, where you can talk about its arbitration procedures.
As Yannick was saying, there's many concerns and problems that we have with TTIP, and one of them is ISDS. That's for sure. Even though everybody's currently looking at ISDS, there's many other problematic issues. But one of the more interesting votes of tomorrow will be the one on Amendment 27, which calls for an outright rejection of ISDS, and that is the one that we're advocating for as well. Because we believe that we need to give a very clear signal to the Commission that we no longer want ISDS. ISDS is completely wrong from our point of view. It also doesn't help if you include a bit of transparency here or there, or if you if you change the lawyers for judges. That's all nice changes, but it does not change the fundamental problem of there being an extrajudicial system for investors, for companies, and that they will have more rights than citizens, and that they will go to these tribunals and people not, and they're only talking about the rights and interests of investors, but nobody's going to talk about the obligations of investors. So for us, there's some fundamental flaw, and even with some small reforms that are suggested, not even proposed, but only suggested by Malmström, nothing is going to change about the fundamental issues of ISDS. So that's why we are very much and strongly advocating for an outright rejection of ISDS. We think it's not enough to have some fuzzy language that some might interpret as it's critical towards ISDS and some others interpret it in the complete other direction. Already after the vote in INTA, in the Trade Committee, you could see everybody was claiming victory for the ISDS language. Some were saying, oh, this is a vote against ISDS. Others were saying it's a vote in favor of ISDS. So it's very fuzzy, and if we're not putting in an outright objection to ISDS, then the language is going to stay fuzzy, and the Commission is going to take out of it what it wants, i.e. to proceed with ISDS as it was anyway planning. That's why this vote is such a crucial one in ISDS, and that's why also if this vote fails, it's very clear that with some small changes, the fundamental issues are not going to change there. If we're not objecting ISDS, then ISDS will be in a fuzzy language in this report and will not give a clear signal to the Commission. That's why it's so important, next to all the other issues that we're going to vote
on. There is no clear support of this Parliament for the TTIP negotiation under this mandate, and that the Commission will have to revise its mandate, but there is absolutely no obligation for the Commission to do so. It's a consultative vote, and you know, till now, I mean, the Commission has totally ignored the very strong opposition to ISDS in the public consultation, in all the stakeholders meeting, in all the parliaments and all these things. So the Commission will to continue in this way, but clearly it will be at the expense of making this negotiation more democratic and related to EU issues.
ISDS, as I was saying, is a crucial issue, but it's not the only one that we have problems with in TTIP. And even if we win all our votes, I mean, that would be very, very nice. But TTIP, as it is going now, as it's being negotiated now, has a lot of problems. Now, we Greens obviously are not against trade. We're not against cooperation with the US. Indeed, there's many things where we need to cooperate closer. For example, to fight climate change, to end fossil fuel subsidies, all of those things. And we also don't have any problems with having common indication lights for cars. No problem at all with that. But the problem is that TTIP is not about the indication lights of cars. It's not about ending fossil fuel subsidies, and it's not about fighting climate change. It is exactly about service liberalization. It is about investment protection. It's about opening agricultural market. And in all of those issues, we find a lot of problems.